A lot of people get confused as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now, are you heterosexual? Are you gay? Or is there any connection between cross-dressing and doing what you do and sexual preference?
Sure. So I am openly gay. However, what I do in drag is more of a performance art. I don't. I live my life as a boy. Everything. This is every time that I'm in drag, it's more for performance, for entertainment, for fundraising. But that's about it. So it is a very different from cross dressing. That's more of a personalized like kind of lifestyle, like a almost, I hate to say the word fetish, but kind of that sort of realm. And then there's transgendered, which is completely different because that's just someone who's in kind of the wrong body and living their life who they are. What I do is drag is an entertainment performance art. It actually stems back from Shakespearean times where where there were no female actresses. All of the characters like Juliet and Ophelia were played by young boys, and in the actual script it would say DRAG, dressed as girl. Okay. And so that's where drag originated from Shakespearean times.
Well, you know, people do what they enjoy doing. For example, I enjoy interviewing people. There are people that love to play golf. Yep. There are people who love to garden or have their lawns look nice. You enjoy doing this. Why?
I enjoy entertaining. I love making people laugh. I like making people have a good time. And, you know, like the world is crazy enough. And like if I can make a few people laugh and forget about, you know, their bad day or what's going on outside of where they are, whether it's a club or a theater or whatnot, then that's my job. I just make people entertain and laugh. And that's why I love laughter. I love the sound of it. It gives me the energy to keep on going.
So this is our first time ever having a drag queen story time for New Bedford Public Library. Could it be more exciting?
I think it's informal. A bunch of people got together. We're concerned about this issue. We're concerned about the LGBT issue. We're concerned about the Drag Queen Story Hour. And we're very concerned that young kids are being encouraged to think that gender dysphoria is a good thing. It's still defined by the American Psychiatric Association as a mental disorder. So this is but also many kids are being led into transitioning, and that involves both the chemical and surgical mutilation in many cases which can't be reversed.
He's a male dressing in a female outfit, reading a book to the kids, and would say that he doesn't feel like, you know, he's harming anybody or anything like that. You say what?
One of the things about the transgender movement is it incorporates a radical form of relativism, where we could term it cognitive relativism. And basically the idea is that whatever conception a person has is normative. It's the ultimate standard of what is good or true, regardless of whether it conflicts with the objective order. Because they say things like, this is my truth but not your truth. And if we get to that point where a large number of people are thinking that way, it's really a threat to law and order too, because how can you impose outside norms like laws and regulations on people when the ultimate standard for what is true is what any conception that a person has in their mind?
Okay. I think he would say that, you know, it's the United States, it's a free country. He's decided as a male that he's going to dress as a female and put on a sort of like a theater type presentation. You would agree that he has a right to do it. You just disagree with the presentation. Is that right?
Well, people have a freedom to do things. Having a freedom and having a right, those are different things actually. But we have certainly we have to be careful about to what extent we allow government to regulate, because we don't want excessive government. At the same time, we also have to recognize that certain things are very harmful, and homosexuality is very harmful, and that's part of the homosexual scene, the drag queen thing. So, you know, like I was saying, they die about 15 years younger than the average male in the population, and that's if they have a long-term sexual partner, 1 to 3 years even younger, so it makes it even worse.
They might say, well, you know, the reason why you have those statistics are because people tend to make fun of people like that. They tend to put them down. You know, they poke fun of them and give them a hard time when they're coming up through school and so forth, and that contributes. And we should really be nice to them, and we don't have to live that way. We can live whatever way we want. Is that an argument that you think is persuasive or no?
Well, I wouldn't suggest that absolutely that isn't a component of what happens with people. People are cruel, and that's unfortunate. What we need to do is be thoughtful and help one another understand what is true and help one another live good lives and happy lives.
This year is the summer reading is a space theme, so we're very excited to have programs available for all families throughout the whole summer.
A lot of folks look at this and, it's unusual. It's not something you see every day.
No.
They get uncomfortable with it. You say what?
I say don't show up then. I don't know what else to tell you. If it's going to make you that uncomfortable and it's not your cup of tea, don't come. Don't worry about it. I won't be offended. I will sleep well at night. You'll sleep better at night. We'll all sleep better at night. I prefer Rhode Island's first lady, but that's fine.
Because there are children involved, some people might say, well, we just want to make sure that the presentation is appropriate. So tell me about your presentation, and what do you say to those folks? What do you say to those folks when you're saying to yourself, there's nothing wrong with my presentation?
So, as a performer, as any type of performer, whether you're on Broadway or whatnot, you always kind of know your audience. Obviously, what I would do in a library full of children would not be the same thing I would do at a nightclub. It would be very different.
Well, you could say that about a comedian, too.
Yeah, you really could. They're very different. So I hope you enjoy. I apologize for the protesters outside. Just such in life, there's a protest. I currently do shows in Provincetown, which is very different. It's the gay mecca. But we do a drag brunch, and one of the weeks that we did it on last year was during Family Week. So there were all these families. There was a table of like 20 kids. No, when I mean kids, ranging from like 5 to like 14. And obviously, myself and my friends Haley Starr and Ladiva Jones, who are the other hosts, were like, okay, this is going to be the Disney show. The story of Harvey Milk and the rainbow flag. Can you all see? My chair a little bit.
Today, it's a children's presentation, so what are we talking about?
So we've got about 5 great children's books that are LGBT focused. One of them it was one that I asked for, which is about the story of Harvey Milk and the rainbow flag. And I thought this is a great way to end Pride Month, and since we are literally currently this weekend celebrating the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, major pivotal mark in the LGBT rights movement. I really wanted to focus on that, only because, Harvey Milk being the first elected openly gay person.
Well, I'm sure you've seen the movie they made about Harvey Milk. Right?
Absolutely. Harvey Milk was an ordinary man, but he had an extraordinary dream. The dream would change history. We've come really far. To the point that we have an openly gay person, an openly gay man, running for president of the United States. I'm very fortunate. I have parents that love me, support everything that I do. They are some of my biggest fans. But I know that not everybody has that. If I can go into a room and there's somebody there, no matter what age they are, they could be 5, they could be 30. And it's like, there's someone like me who's out there being themselves and it's making them feel comfortable and happy, and maybe it helps them ease out a little bit of whether they're gay or straight, just make them feel comfortable. Sometimes people growing up, it's awkward and you just want to find a place to fit in. If I can make that person fit in for like 40 minutes or whatnot and feel comfortable, then I'm happy with that, because it takes a little bit off of their lives for a little bit.
I really appreciate you taking a few moments to speak with us before you go on. I know you're trying to get set up and get ready to go.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Would you like me to come in?